Well, I was not up early. Well, I was, but Jonny decided he would cuddle me, and we both fell back to sleep until about 6 o'clock. So, needless to say, he was late. Late for work. Man, I have a long time to go. I'm gonna get another coffee. It's almost lunchtime now, so I have to start lunch. And I started working on the second half of my vlog series, the outline of each blog that I'll be doing. So the first half was about how feminism had destroyed women. The second half is how feminism has destroyed men. And so it's going to be a little bit more hard, only because to talk about how feminism has destroyed men, you have to talk about different aspects of society. So I'm going to go over a little bit of what I've already gone over in the first half, like basically men that don't feel that marriage and children are important, how men would rather have one-night stands than to settle down in a long-term relationship, how men view women in general. We go over a lot of things, like how feminism is trying to turn men into women, so feminize men and whatnot. And we go into the LGBTQ agenda, which was brought up by feminists, how men feel like no matter what they do, they're toxic, they're degraded, emasculated, not just in relationships, but in society in general. Like if you're a white male Christian who believes that women are beautiful, you're perpetuating rape culture and you're a toxic man and all this crap, right? It's like ridiculous. If a man disagrees with a woman, he's toxic masculinity. If a man wants to marry a woman, oh man, you assume I want to marry you? Like all this horrible stuff. So I'm going over all of this in the second half of the series. And much more. Some sad things that we don't want to even know about, but is actually happening. Like in single parent households where there's a mom raising boys, I'm going to go over some statistics that suggest that single moms that have boys are like more likely to abuse their boys than their girls, and blah blah blah. So it's gonna be huge. Yeah. Who? And
actually Mila has 6.
I'm gonna be going over how men should be raised to want a wife and children, and to respect women and love women, marry women, to prospect for a wife the way it should have been this whole damn time. But feminists time to put the food in and it's like smoking again because of the stuff in the bottom of the oven. Ay. It's all like smoky in here now. Ay. So there's that. And then at the end of all of the second half of the blog series, I'm going to tie in everything all together so that it all makes absolute sense. There's like it'll make sense, complete sense at the end, and it'll also be able to paint the whole bigger picture, which I've been trying to do the whole time. But it takes time to build a nice picture, especially when you're using little puzzle pieces. And I'm just hoping that it turns out well, and everybody that comes to read it understands what I did and how I put the pieces together. And yeah. Other than that, guys, I'm just gonna have my second coffee of the day. And make lunch, and then there's not much to clean because I always constantly clean, so there's not much to clean. I guess I'm gonna get ready for dinner for later. Maybe give myself something to eat. So I'm kind of glad that there's not much to do. I need to rest today, so I'm glad. So I'll catch you guys later. Okay, guys, I have no idea why I didn't film all day, like, other than my little tea party thing that I did. I don't know. I really don't. I got into an argument with some feminists, and then I got into another argument with some weirdos, BLM supporters, and it's just been a day of weirdos. And I wouldn't even call it an argument. I kind of just stated fact and then left it alone, right? And I never commented back. And then I got blocked so that I couldn't even comment back. And then everybody started attacking me as soon as I couldn't comment back. And I was just like laughing at their comments because it didn't make any sense at all. What they were saying. They were like saying like, okay, so I don't know if anybody knows about the Jacob Blake stuff. So there's like protests now because of the Jacob Blake stuff, right? Jacob Blake raped a little girl. There was a warrant out for his arrest. He broke up a fight between two women with a knife. The police came, and directed him to stay for the statement. He refused to give his name. He refused all directives from the police, and then he ran towards his vehicle, which told the police that there was something going on. So they had their guns out to tell him to stop. Now, when he ran and went into his car, they assumed he was reaching for a gun, and they shot him in self-defense of him resisting arrest. Okay? So then there's these protests over it. A rapist. Okay? Remember, he's a rapist. And they're protesting him. He's the next saint with George Floyd, by the way, who held a loaded gun to a pregnant woman. But anyway, so then somebody said something, and because there was this guy at the protest who ended up shooting 2 people that were at the protest. Now, in the video, it is clear that the person who got shot in the head was attacking the man, okay? And so these people are like, oh, he shot the guy in the head before he was chased and attacked. No, the 2 people he shot and killed were attacking him. One was injured by attacking him with a gun, by the way. They were trying to kill him, and he self-defensed himself and killed 2 people and shot one, injuring him in the arm. That is the truth. You can go find the video on YouTube. It's up all over the place. Now, these people are trying to tell me he jumped state lines illegally. He was out after curfew, which is illegal. Oh, what about all the protesters, though? They were out after curfew, which is illegal. Is it not? No, not for protesters? Okay, so law does not apply to protesters. Gotcha. They only attacked him after he shot someone in the head? No, they attacked him before he shot anyone. He was telling people to stay away from the businesses because they were throwing cocktails of fire. They already burned down a whole automotive company, and cars all across the street were blown up and burned. He was there to protect businesses. And they attacked him. So he self-defense and shot them. And now he is charged with manslaughter. Are those people who burn down businesses going to be charged with vandalism? Destruction of property? Mischief? Disturbing the peace? No? Right. Laws do not apply to protesters. But I'm the idiot. I'm the idiot. Okay. On to the feminists. So I thought that this group I joined was a trad woman group, okay? Until they were talking about something or other, and it sounded very like feministic in nature, like they were going off on on an RNC interview that somebody had spoke at this RNC. It's called, I don't know what it is, it's something down in the States. Anyway, so this woman was talking and she said, bring back men deciding things, right? Like, let men decide. Have your husbands do what was it, home in vote in home or something like that, and let the husband do the voting, right? And so they were like, oh, this girl, she wants to bring back the old age days when women were slaves in the kitchen and making sandwiches and all this. And I was like shocked. I was like, how did I get in this group with these weird women talking about things like this, right? So I was like, how did I get into this group? I thought you guys were Christian traditionalists. And this woman, I guess she was confused or high or something of the two. And she's like, Mommy, be quiet, I'm talking. What was that smell? It doesn't matter. You're going to sleep now. Shh. So she's like, well, with a name like that, how could it be feminist? I was like, what are you talking about? What? And then she's like, the article's talking about a group. And I'm like, I'm talking about this group. How did I get into this group that's clearly feminist and not at all Christian traditional? And then she's like, well, maybe you should follow Pope Francis. He seems to be very feminist. I'm like, I don't like feminists. I don't want to follow feminists. I don't want to be in groups with feminists. What are you not getting? I hate feminists. And then she's like, it seems that only the hate come from the religious people. I'm like, excuse me? Religious people are 10 times more likely to be attacked on the street by a feminist than a feminist is to be attacked by a Christian. Just so you know. Then she's like, I've never heard of anybody being violent in the feminist group. I'm like, really? 60 million deaths have occurred because of feminism. And she's like, I never killed anybody. I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, if you've had an abortion or know someone who's had an abortion and you advocated and you condone an abortion, that is murder and that is a death. Just so you know. And then she's like, no, it's not. And then I started posting like truths about abortion, you know? And she's like, how is it any of your business what a woman does with her body? I'm like, but it's not her body. And I posted the information of how it's a separate being, you know, with its own body. And it's not a body part to a woman. It's a separate being. Whole different thing, you know? And then she's like, it's not a human until it takes its first breath. I was like, how appalling. Wow. Really? I was like, animals have more rights than a human fetus. That's sad. I was just disgusted by her comment. And then in a Christian group, I got into it with this New Ager. All I said was, women are not to have authority over men. God makes that clear in Genesis. That's all I said. And she flipped out, called me names, cussed me out. So I reported her comments, and I didn't reply back, you know, other to say, I'm going to pray for you because you're clearly lost. You need Jesus, you know? And then she went off crazy. And I'm just like, okay, you keep that with you. I'm going to just not comment anymore and you can just talk to yourself. And she did. For like hours, she's been talking to herself. She's still commenting, talking to herself. I'll just let her do that. And pray for her because she's clearly lost. She doesn't know the gospel. People, they like to judge others who say that they're faithful and of a religion. They judge and then they say that we're not to judge anyone. How hypocritical is that? You're allowed, but I'm not. You're allowed to vandalize and destroy property, and I'm not allowed to point it out and say how horrible and degrading it is, how uncivilized it is. And then they go on to tell me, oh, your religion is pedophilia. That's Catholicism, and I'm not part of that. I'm a Christian. Try again. And Catholics made George Floyd a saint. Pedophile. Pedophilia in Catholicism made George Floyd a saint. Do you see the hypocrisy? The irony is so bad. Whatever. And they were making fun of the fact that I have like gospel music on my Facebook music area. When God dips his love in my heart, well, say one tell it to a living soul how he brought salvation and he made me whole. But I found I couldn't, such love that Jesus did impart. Well, he made me laugh and he made me cry, set my sinful soul on fire. Hallelujah, when God dips his love in my heart. I love that song. I don't know why they had to make fun of it. It's a good song. You guys should listen to it. It's old, but it's good. But yeah, I have no idea why I didn't film all day. I didn't get up early. Well, I did, but I don't know how to explain it. So I got up early, right? But then Jonny wanted to cuddle. And I passed out until like near 6 o'clock. And then he got up and he was like, freak out. Rushed out the door. And I went back to sleep. And then I couldn't get up. I felt like I was going to die. So we got this bright idea that we're going to go to bed super early tonight. Like right now. And then tomorrow, I'm going to wake up at 4 and stay up all day. Like I used to. The only time it's going to suck is when I have to wake up at 3:30 for the 2 weeks that we need to have him at work for 12 hours so we have a good rent check at the end of the month. But I don't have to worry about that for 2 weeks. Yay. Alright guys, I'm gonna go. I wanted to share some fun stuff with you. I gotta... Oh, my head is so itchy. Switch to my nightcap and take off my glasses. Go to sleep. So, hope everybody had a wonderful Wednesday. Catch you all tomorrow morning. Yes, it will be very early when I start tomorrow because it will not be this late. I will remember to do it early. Alright, so catch y'all tomorrow. Good night. God bless. And remember, stay in the Word. And nobody can fool you. Stay in the Word. Oh. Okay. Love y'all. Good night.